But, because I only get 5 viewers and shit now. And that was maybe 6 months ago. It was before it was before Charlie Kirk got shot. So, because the day Charlie Kirk got shot was the last day I had freedom.
Oh, so what you're saying is it's Charlie Kirk's fault?
Absolutely, 100%.
Is that why you got accused of that earlier?
Yeah.
Doesn't help you for it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this guy's blaming Charlie Kirk now. Yeah.
Yep.
That's what it sounded like I was doing. So, I think this is a really important thing. And it's clearly not being talked about very much because I went to look it up. I looked up Memorandum of Understanding, Israel, and then I clicked News, and then I clicked Sort by Date, so I got the newest ones. And this is from a week ago. This is the newest story on this unprecedented, extremely important. I can't say legislation because it's not like official. Because it's a memorandum of understanding, it's not subjected to the same rules that any other real legislation would be subjected to. So there's no transparency forced upon the situation. There's, it's a situation where they basically just do whatever the fuck they want to do, and tell us as much about it as they want to. And so this is a big deal. This is the Memorandum of Understanding is generally something that's signed every 10 years. I believe it's generally signed in the 6th year. So in 2006 and 2016, and that was my knowledge of it. That's what I could tell by going backwards, at least as far as the history tells you, which isn't very detailed once you get past like Obama to a degree. And it doesn't even do that. A lot of the Memorandum of Understanding information I have is because I remember it. Because I thought it was a big deal. So in 2016, Obama signed it, and it was the $38 billion over 10 years, $3.8 billion a year. And in the bill were two what was called concessions. Netanyahu had to agree to 2 concessions in order to get the free $3.8 billion cash infusion that is given in the first fiscal month of every year. Again, because it's a memorandum of understanding thing, there's no monitoring of where the cash goes or how it's spent. But there were these concessions, these stipulations put on Netanyahu. He really they really put the hammer down on him with these 2 things. It's almost hard to believe the audacity that the Obama administration had in putting these things in there. But they said, get this, that the money had to be used on American weapons. It couldn't be used to develop their own weapons because they have the illusion here in the States to the people that Israel is one of our greatest allies because they buy so many weapons from us. They stimulate our economy so well. But the reality is they spend the money that we give them. It's literally the dumbest shit. Like, I'm sure you'd think I was lying.
It's all smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, but as far as a lot of the stuff that they do, that's up there as in the insulting category.
Sure.
Like, how insulting do you
How
have
far
to
can
be
we go and still get away with it?
to think that, so we're going to give them money and then they have to buy the weapons from us.
Let's see if anybody catches on.
Right. And they've been doing it for decades. But that was one stipulation. The other stipulation was, let's see if I can say it without laughing. I always say it, but I always laugh. Too late. that they weren't allowed to ask for any more money until this money had run out, until for the 10 years, which is just absolutely fucking ludicrous. In 2021, they went on a huge bombing campaign and immediately afterwards demanded an additional $1 billion. And Biden was like, all right, there you go. Like, it's just so stupid. But so Obama signs it, but, and I can remember this article that I read. It was, whatever. It was a New York Times article or whatever. But it explained that whole thing and the two concessions. And then in like 2018 or 19 or even 20, I mean, it might even have gone that far. It seemed like it was sort of back on the table. And this time it was being signed, but the concessions were now removed. And in place was that the United States would leave a cache of weapons in Israel for us to use in emergency situations, but that also Israel had access to if they ever needed it. And if you can remember a couple of years ago, we were trying to give Ukraine some ammunition, and they were going to go to those cache. They were going to go to that cache to get it, and it was empty, and it was like a big deal for like a day, and then the story just got buried, of course. But the Memorandum of Understanding is that it guarantees Israel a cash payment of, the current one was $3.8 billion every year in the first fiscal month of the year. So I don't know if it's like the American year or the Israeli year. I don't know how that works out, but that's what it says. And on top of the Memorandum of Understanding for that is the other Memorandum of Understanding that says Israel is to have the mightiest military in that region by an arbitrary, tenfold or whatever they come up with, this number, this percentage that they somehow come up with. And that anytime that imbalance is threatened or changed, the United States is then required to provide them with whatever it takes to balance that shit back out. So a great example of it is when the Abraham Accords are being signed, which are these, quote, normalization deals. Now, as far as the definition of that goes, good fucking luck. I don't know. I couldn't find anything that sufficiently explained a normalization deal. But from what I can tell, a normalization deal means said Arabic country agrees to allow Israelis to travel to their country, like Qatar, when the World Cup was happening, and they wanted to go to the World Cup. So they made the leadership, the powerful, probably the monarchy,
and so they could bury the bodies,
an offer they couldn't refuse, right? And so they go to whatever, Trump actually goes to whatever country it is and says, all right, we're going to give you this, that, and the other. So not only does Israel get the $3.8 billion a year, but there are a bunch of these memorandums of understanding, these normalization deals with all of these other Arabic countries, where we have to give them X amount of money a year, or X amount of this, or X amount of that. And with Bahrain was part of the deal was, I don't know the exact number, but say they got gifted 20 F-35 fighter jets, right? Because we gave them 20 F-35 fighter jets, so they play nice with Israel. And a big piece of that memorandum, that normalization deal, is that the Israelis can travel to and from as they want. Supposedly it's supposed to work in reverse, but it doesn't. And, there'll be other things incorporated, like the Ben Gurion channel, stuff with that. But a big thing, a number one thing, is that if Israel, that they promise to never turn on Israel. So no matter what Israel theoretically does to the Palestinians in the coming few years, they agree not to do anything, which is why you don't see any of those Muslim countries actually coming to the aid of the Palestinians, though the people are protesting and demanding that the government do something. They're not. It's because of these memorandums of understanding that were signed, these normalization deals. And so if Bahrain gets 20 F-35 fighter jets to play nice with Israel and agree not to attack Israel and all these other things, that violates the other memorandum of understanding that says Israel is to have the mightiest military in the region by X amount. So now, because we gave Bahrain 20, we have to give Israel 35. So it's in Israel's interest for us to sign these deals on multiple levels. And we're the ones facilitating all these deals. The leadership of whatever the country is, they get the benefit. The Israelis get all sorts of benefits. And we, the American public, are the ones paying for it. And we get nothing. Literally nothing out of it. We get to send our troops there to die.
That sounds like fun.
Doesn't that sound like a good deal?
Those are just people's babies, right?
Those are just meat bags, according to Kissinger, right? Soldiers are just meat bags. Saying that quiet part out loud. Oh, that shitty stuff. Oh, it's so shitty.
It's crack, isn't it?
It's,
or meth?
It's the creth. It's actually creth.
It's the crack meth weed.
Yeah, I'm also a scientist.
Why are you not rich?
I'm a scientist because I'm selfish. You know, I don't want anybody else to have my creth.
Didn't they say that you were friar? So where's our money? I want my bag of gold. Gimme.
We don't talk about the bag of gold, sir.
How come my family didn't get a dowry?
Maybe they did. You just didn't know about it because you're just the dumb girl who doesn't need to know about it. You better start acting like a little subservient Jewish wife then, because there's something wrong here. Oh, by the way, I have your mikvah appointment scheduled. Yeah, you need to get your hooch all decontaminated.
That is just horrifying.
Yeah.
That is just...
Don't worry, they have somebody there to check.
Inspector Cootie, get away from me.
So you can go get in the stagnant, nasty ass fucking water that some fat dude's been in and
jerking off in.
Just because
there's that one
funny.
Nasty one that really likes the bloody, It
just thinks it's gross. He's just that guy that likes to do nasty things because those guys exist, and surprisingly, there's a lot of those guys in that community. Huh.
What?
Yeah. Strangely enough.
Shit you talk. I tell ya.
I mean, I assume Larry Flint is one, right? I don't know. The movie didn't portray him as one.
The movie didn't portray him as anything religious. Like, it wasn't...
He was all God bless America.
Yeah, well, that was just talking.
The People versus Larry Flint. Where you had Courtney Love acting up a storm there. Where she was so believable.
God.
I kept thinking, oh shit, I keep forgetting that's Courtney Love. I can't tell. So, memorandums of understanding. We don't have those with anyone else in this regard. We might have one regarding like air travel somewhere or something. And there are memorandums of understanding signed with everyone regarding air travel. That's why commercial planes can fly everywhere. But what I'm talking about is the new memorandum. So recently I just saw a thing with Netanyahu talking about how Israel is trying really, really hard to wean itself from that American teat. You know, they really want to be independent here and they don't want any more American funding and all that. Netanyahu's flat out fucking saying this on the same days that the reports about this new 20-year memorandum of understanding are being pushed through. Now, the normal memorandum of understanding is 10 years. It just so happens that with Trump in office and with all of the turmoil going on, they're lobbying for a 20-year deal this time. Imagine all the red tape that will exist if a new president comes in, when a new president comes in, and decides to try to eliminate that.
Lose that if. Take that if and shove it under a floorboard somewhere. Set the house on fire.
Imagine that shit. Imagine that shit, right? How much red tape are they going to have to get through to try to eliminate this memorandum of understanding that's all signed in secret and there's no real, you know? Like when I win in 2028, if Trump signs this, do you know how difficult it's going to be for me to override that red tape? So, what we're talking about is a 20-year MOU with Israel is not in the interest of the United States. So what I did was I looked up Memorandum of Understanding Israel in a Google machine, clicked news, clicked sort by date, and this was the most recent story anywhere talking about this extremely important and influential legislation, Memorandum of Understanding that's getting pushed through. And it's from a week ago. This isn't being talked about nearly as much. I wonder how much Israel dropping bombs distractions there are, or Trump said something stupid distractions are going on right now.
Those you can just pluck out of the air
Right.
whenever you need them.
Exactly. That's why he's there. It's the same. It's Bush all over again. Bush Jr.
Oh, he's so much worse than Bush.
Oh, I don't know. You've forgotten. You just.
No, I know Bush was bad.
You're 4 years. Well.
No, I remember.
You're significantly older than that. Your perception, like seriously, you see.
I remember cringing every time I heard that stupid little man.
I think they're equally bad.
Guy, no, Trump's despicable.
Yeah, Trump is despicable. The things that Trump says are worse, but they're both like, as far as morons go, they are top of the fucking heap.
Oh yeah, but despicable. I think Bush is smarter than Trump.
Oh, I think they're.
Is luckier.
No, Trump's well. Bush comes from a much longer lineage.
Yeah.
A much more royalty lineage.
Yes.
Old money. And it was a different time. They didn't have social media. So it changed the game exponentially. Just it's so much different because it allows us to communicate with each other more than anything. And so, but to compare Bush and Trump, to me, it's just the same character again. They just like Obama was someone that, like him or hate him, you'd look at the guy and you'd think like, that guy knows his shit, right? Like that guy, he speaks well, he seems informed, he seems intelligent, he seems engaged. He doesn't seem bored or falling asleep and shit.
He actually gives kind of a fuck.
What's crazy too is how many times when Biden would have a dozy moment and the MAGA base would just lose their fucking mind.
Media circus about
and Trump does it a lot.
Oh my God,
and it's barely talked about. Wow. He's not some guy that's too old and losing his mind. Like all the things they said about Biden, they could say about Trump, especially since they're right around the same age.
It's all over my newsfeed now. He's got dementia. He's in full, you
know. Yeah, but you're not the system as much. Like the national, they're not pushing that narrative like they were with Biden.
No.
Okay, so how a 20-year agreement outlining billions of assistance to Israel. It's funny too how nobody's talking about the amount. I haven't heard a mention of the amount. So maybe I will in this, but I haven't heard anyone say the amount. I've been telling you for several years now that I think Trump will sign $100 billion over 10 years. So now if it's that, that would mean 200 billion over the next 20 years. But I thought it was going to be at least $10 billion a year. Because that's what Israel wanted. They were mad. There were Israelis that were outwardly mad that they only got $3.8 billion a year. They're a country of 9 to 10 million people. And the United States isn't the only one that gives them money. And our money, our $3.8 billion a year, turns into about $15 billion.
Well, we're
15
all
billion,
responsible for the Holocaust.
15 billion shekels there. But you also have Canada that gives them 2 billion, Australia gives them 1.2 billion, and who knows how much Germany's stuck giving them,
Sensitive.
All these countries are giving this one country money every single year. Of course they're going to lead the way in technology and shit like that. They have enough money to do anything they want to do. All of the people live in fucking mansions. You would be amazed by how many fucking the settlements that you always hear about. They're building a settlement with a new with 3,000 new residences. Those are mansions. Like Jay Leno mansions. Mansion.
Huh?
Nothing. Israel is reportedly seeking an unprecedented 20-year security agreement with Washington, outlining political commitments from Washington for billions of dollars in security assistance. For what in return? What do we get out of it? Although already the largest historic recipient of U.S. foreign assistance, the proposed Memorandum of Understanding has a duration that is double the time frame of past arrangements. I bet you live in a mansion. I'm sure you do. If your mansion is Israeli blood money, then no, I'm not jealous at all. You're a piece of shit. I couldn't sleep knowing that. I couldn't sleep at night knowing that my house belonged to somebody else, and I would, the bus pulled up and I ran out and got that house before somebody else could.
Did. Even if it was a house that was passed down to you, knowing that.
Well, once we start getting into that, then we start getting into all of our houses belong to the natives at some point. So, where do we draw that line?
But it wouldn't be that far removed in their case.
Right. No, this is disgusting. What they do is disgusting. And they're the laziest, worst people in the world. They don't work for those mansions. They don't earn those mansions. They're gifted those mansions. Those mansions are gifted, paid off in full, no mortgage, nothing. While they're also given a monthly stipend.
You just described all of the royal bloodlines.
Yeah, royal bloodlines don't get the monthly stipend though.
There
are limitations in the monthly stipend. It's only $4,000 or $5,000 a month or so, with no bills. As a duration double the time frame of past arrangements between the United States and Israel. More significantly, the proportionate arrangement highlights the potential arrangement highlights a real concern that U.S. security assistance to Israel could implicate the United States in foreign conflicts or crises and divorce U.S. military assistance from interest-based policymaking. My dad pays minimum wage to workers so he can buy a new yacht. Yeah. I mean, just like, even if you're just some piece of shit that's in here saying dumb shit for attention, that just shows you the type of person we're dealing with. More than likely, it's a bot. Let's see. 13 years ago, 11 subscribers. More than likely, it's just a bot. But, these, like, who makes these jokes? You got pedophile jokes too? We know how you guys are.
Those are funny.
Right. Oh, they love them. Since 1999, the bilateral security cooperation and assistance relationship between Israel and the United States has been outlined in 10-year MOUs. The unique arrangement has committed the United States to tens of billions of dollars in security assistance in advance and regardless of prospective changes in the bilateral relationship or strategic environment. So no matter what, they get their money. The current MOU, signed by President Obama in 2016 and set to expire in 2008, represents more than $38 billion in security assistance, excluding the supplemental funding provided since the attacks of October 7th, 2023. Right, because it's been like another $45 billion or something fucking
So that
insane.
was 2008. What happened
What?
after? You said it was signed in 2008?
No, that was signed in 2016, set to expire in 2028.
Oh, you said 2008.
Oh, my
Set to
bad.
expire. I heard that part. It was like, wait, what happened after that?
Okay, thank you. In the 2016 MOU outlines $3.3 billion in foreign military financing, taxpayer-funded grants for Israel to purchase U.S. defense articles and services. That is so fucking insane. I am going to give you money so you can buy stuff from me. What? Tell me the business sense that makes. Tell me in what world does that make any sort of sense outside of a conspiracy? How does that benefit our society? Why wouldn't it benefit our society to just keep the money and distribute it in other ways?
I don't know. It don't make no sense to me.
And actually, so we give them the money, and then they purchase bonds from us that then collect interest. So we give them money so they can purchase bonds that then collect more interest. So we give them money so they can make more money.
Right.
It's insane. It's insane. In addition, the 2016 arrangement also allows a portion of the funds to be used for acquisitions from Israel's own defense industry and outlines an additional $500 million per year for cooperative missile defense development. So it's supposed to be military aid, right? The 3.3 it's 3.8. I don't know why they say 3.3. It's 10 years, it's $38 billion. It's 3.8. But to think like you're outlining, you say, we're going to give you this. This is the aid. And then there's this too. So every time you hear throughout the year that Israel is buying, $50 million in this, $100 million in that,
Yeah,
understand it's not even that. It's part of the grant that's set aside to pay for that. So they're not actually, it doesn't actually work. And especially since those two concessions were removed, we're literally just giving them cash now to do what they want. And we call it military aid, but it's just cash. How can you determine where it's spent once it's cash? It's just given to them. It's almost like it doesn't make any sense. The only way it does make sense is if you apply the conspiracy narrative. While MOUs represent a political pledge rather than a legal commitment, legislators have historically abided by their terms and duly appropriated funding along the lines expressed in the agreements. Not to mention, this is just the money that is openly given by the government at one time. There are multiple times throughout the year where they demand more money. Like I said, that 2021 or 2021 time when they went on a bombing campaign and then demanded another $1 billion in Biden just wrote the check. That doesn't include the multi billions they've been given since October 7th. Like they're the ones suffering. Like it's just so crazy that we keep saying we're giving Israel military aid when they're not even taking any casualties. The only casualties they take are like friendly fire shit or like a failure of equipment or whatever. It's the it's like I'm living in I predicted all of this, but the last thing I ever wanted to be was right. And now it's like I'm living in this crazy ass dream where it's like what this can't be real. I can't have been this right, this accurate about all this shit all these years ago. I'm the dumbass, remember? While multi-year arrangements may be necessary to reflect the practical time horizons of particular defense cooperation projects or initiatives, blanket pledges spelling out 2 decades of financial commitments detached from specific operational contexts could be at odds with U.S. interests. It could be. In an increasingly volatile government or global security environment, MOUs with a very long time horizon, like the one proposed by Israel, risk limiting the responsiveness of U.S. foreign policy and entangling the United States in partnerships that do not reflect U.S. interests. So this is about to say that because it's locking them in for 20 years, it's going to limit the amount that we could give them. Because in 10 years, what is now currently $10 billion will be worth a lot less. So it would be in their interest not to do that because, how stupid are we?
We don't want. We want to renew every 10 years. Price of the dollar goes down.
No, we don't want to renew it. It would actually benefit us. It would, as much as it's crazy.
No, I know.
Right.
They don't want to do
Right,
that.
exactly. They don't. No, yeah, they don't want to do that at all. And I just figured it out. That's what this article is going to present it as. Hey guys, you're going to probably be able to get a lot more in 10 years. So, you're thinking small picture. You're thinking short term. You got to think of the long term. Think how much money we could get. Who wrote this article? This was written by Rachel Stoll, Elias Yusuf, and Conventional Arms. I don't know what that is. It's either 2 or 3 people had to write this. It's so crazy to me how every time I see one of their articles, it's 2 people at least.
Oh yeah.
Which is weird because like writers are very, very arrogant and they're not going to want to give their crowd. Why would you ever want to? I mean, why would you need somebody else to help you write a story? Aren't you a professional? But if you paid attention to those names I give you, they are extremely chosen. Rachel Stoll, Elias Yusuf. You know what? Maybe they're Chinese. They could just be Chinese and have hip parents. You see that video where the guy's like, how can people say there's an apartheid here? Look, there's a sign. And on that sign, it's Hebrew, it's English, and it's Arabic. There's Arabic on the signs. That means there's no genocide. Let's see, where were we? Did I skip something? No. Okay, the proposed 20 years represents. I got this far already. Okay, so wait. I had gotten to. All right, here. The depth of the U.S. security cooperation partnerships should reflect the degree and durability of bilateral interest alignment, the relative importance of the partnership for U.S. strategic objectives, and the efficiency of defense cooperation as an instrument for meeting these goals. In an increasingly unpredictable geopolitical context, rapidly evolving security realities require deliberate regular assessments of partnerships against those criteria. A 20-year MOU with Israel runs contrary to the need for such sober strategic assessments of U.S. partnerships. Even if such arrangements are not legally binding, a multi-layer MOU creates a sense of political obligation and an unnecessary test for U.S. credibility. In the event that security circumstances demand an interest-based change in U.S. security cooperation, for example, seemingly obligatory MOUs could add substance to accusations that the U.S. is an unreliable ally, writ large, allowing partners to pressure the United States into maintaining the status quo. What?
Writs and laws, basically, or orders.
Um, this further complicates an already strained oversight environment where transparency and accountability may be at odds with the preordained nature of such long-term agreements. While arms transfers paid for by the assistance promised in the MOU are still subject to congressional notification and review, the sense that the United States owes assistance to its partners adds to that already hefty political pressure against meaningful scrutiny. It seems like it's extremely wordy unnecessarily. Moreover, by linking U.S. security assistance to such long-term arrangements, especially those that do not obligate the recipient to abide by certain conditions or meet key benchmarks, a 20-year MOU complicates U.S. efforts to deliberately craft security cooperation policies that reflect changing geostrategic circumstances or U.S. interests. See, they're still not saying, like, if Israel fucks up and does some shitty things, they're sort of hinting at it, but at the same time hinting at if they need more security, how are we supposed to give it to them? Israel's multi-front military campaign over the past 3 years, which has entailed military operations in 5 countries plus the Palestinian territories, illustrates how routinized, I don't know, security cooperation detached from more rigorous strategic evaluation can limit U.S. influence and entangle the U.S. in foreign crises. Since October 7th, 2023, the largely unconditional U.S. support for Israel has enabled the Netanyahu government to operate without due consideration for U.S. interests or policy preferences. Wow. Assured that military aid was largely immune from the conditions or constraints, the Netanyahu government regularly ignored or defied U.S. requests, whether that was related to ceasefire negotiations, humanitarian access, or escalatory actions such as Israeli strike in Qatar. Qatar. Conclusion. While the divergent policies and interests of Israel and the United States are multifaceted, a 20-year MOU does not take such conflicting views into account and illustrates how easily U.S. security assistance can be seen as an entitlement rather than an instrument of foreign policy. For security cooperation to be effective in advancing U.S. interests, it must be responsible, flexible, and tied to the realities of a fast evolving strategic environment. Whether it is Israel or any other partner, lengthy security cooperation commitments not linked to specific operational or strategic contests risk placing assistance decisions on autopilot. It is the opposite of the more deliberate approach of the United States. It's the opposite of the deliberate approach the United States should be adopting in determining where, when, and how to engage around the world. Weighty decisions around military aid and security cooperation should be rooted in rigorous evaluation of U.S. interests and reflect a commitment to restraint, due diligence, and conditionality. No matter the partnership, blanket arrangements pledging billions in support place constraints on the ability of policymakers and legislators to think critically about the efficiency of U.S. security assistance and ensure policies are accountable to U.S. interests and can evolve alongside the changing circumstances of an increasingly unpredictable global security environment. Dun, dun, dun. So it does sort of call it out. Anyway, I'm done. I want to talk about this more tomorrow, though. So you have yourself a wonderful fucking day. Check out the links in the description, and you pedophiles, kill yourself.